Wash your hands, men. Okay, diatomic elements. Diatomic elements are just 7 elements that you gotta memorize because they're just a little weird. They don't like being alone. So oxygen is one good example. Oxygen doesn't like to be alone. You'll never see just an O. It will always be an O2. So let's take notes real quick and then I'll give you some examples. So, diatomic elements are pure elements formed by 2 atoms bonding together, hence the di at the beginning. So, di means 2. Okay, it's important to know that these are pure. And there are 7 diatomic elements, all of which are nonmetals. Alright, so we were talking about oxygen just a second ago. You will never find oxygen hanging out by itself. Never just an O. It will always, always be an O2. So when you're talking about oxygen in the atmosphere or writing about it in a class, you should always write O2, not just O. And now I will tell you the other 6. I'm going to put these in a specific order to help you remember them. So make sure you're putting it in the same order as me. H, and we could just go ahead and write it. Hydrogen. Let's keep it consistent, I suppose. I'm just going to actually write it out. Hydrogen. Nitrogen. Fluorine. And let's go ahead and go down to the periodic table and highlight these, or circle them. Alright, so far we have hydrogen, nitrogen, and fluorine. Okay, now let's finish writing them out and we'll highlight the rest. Oxygen, iodine, carbon, no, it shouldn't be carbon, it should be chlorine. Just a typo. Chlorine and bromine. Alright, let's go down and highlight those. So we just added oxygen, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Alright, there you have it. There's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, remember, these elements specifically do not like being left alone. They're scaredy cats, so we gotta add 2's to all of them. And that literally means one hydrogen bonds to another hydrogen. Right there. H2, you got 2 hydrogens there. Anytime you see a subscript, and this is a subscript, anytime you see that, it's just telling you how many of those elements are present. So all of these should be 2's. Okay? Now, you do have to memorize these, and I will give you 3 hints on how to remember them. Alright, first of all, let's look at this table. Alright, here's the first clue. The table creates a 7. This table creates a 7. And there are 7 diatomic elements. So 7 there, plus this hydrogen over here. You'll just have to remember that that's an extra. If you can remember that it ends with I and N over here, then you can remember the 7. If that doesn't work for you, you can use an acronym. So let's write this back out. H, N, F, O, I, C, L, B, Okay, and the acronym is have no fear of ice cold beer. Beer. Have no fear of ice cold beer. That's how you can remember it. But in this case, we're going to put beverages just because we're in a school setting. Alright, and the last way to remember it is they all end in gin. All end in gin. Alright, so let's take a look just to be sure. We got hydrogen, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, and now you're left with fluorine, iodine, and chlorine, and bromine. And those are not gins. But if you think about it, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine actually are gins because they're halogens. Ha! So, they're still gins. We're going to add halogens. Just make sure you remember that it's not all the halogens. Stops at I. Alright, just stuff you gotta memorize to be able to name formulas and or to write formulas and name compounds. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. See you.